So here we see a lot of aggressive buyers. So we see this in the positive delta. So understanding what's going on 1 hour before the New York session is very important to understand, right? So you see a positive delta. This means that there's basically more aggressive buyers. So you want to ask yourself, if we see a lot of aggressive buyers, right, but the market failed to break above this area, what does that tell you about the area? So again, we see a lot of aggressive buyers, right? These buyers are present all throughout this candle, right? So aggressive buyers that are not being rewarded simply means that passive sellers are at this zone. So this zone is being supported by passive sellers, right? So one thing to understand as basic knowledge is that passive sellers drive price lower and passive buyers drive price higher. So where you see passive participants in the market, this simply means that those participants are in control. So we know that passive sellers are at this area and therefore we know sellers are in control, right? The aggressive buyers going in with market orders, live market orders, are essentially failing, right? So passive sellers are in, more importantly, they are in control, right? Mind my spelling there. Passive sellers are in control. So now we have a 15-minute fair value gap. What we need to understand is there's only two things that can happen inside of the 15-minute fair value gap. Price can either move up or price can either move down. So if we just take a look at now, we're into market open and we're going to be analyzing price near this particular zone, right? So what we can see is we can see how price has. So from here, we need to understand what's going on in terms of price, right? So price in itself, let's go to the 1 minute time frame. Price in itself has come back into this particular area, right? So now from here, we're going to be marking out, we have a 1 minute POI over here. Now this is a 1 minute POI because we've left a fair value gap just over here, right? So this is now a 1 minute point of interest. Now we've also left a 1 minute fair value gap down here as well, right? So this here is also a 1 minute POI, right? Notice how we're all within inside of this 15-minute fair value gap. So this is where price gets very interesting. We're going to be going on the ATAS platform. We are going to be understanding what's going on here, what's going on here, and then also what's going on